So, are you thinking of moving to Westchester? Well, here are 5 things to know before you move. If this is your first time at this channel and you want to know everything about eating, sleeping, playing, working, and living in Westchester, the good and the bad, then please click the subscribe button below and the little bell next to it to be the first to know about what's going on around here. I'm Bill D'Ambrosio of Rand Realty, and I work with people just like you every day who either live here in Westchester or are thinking of moving here, and I absolutely love it. So, if you're thinking of moving here or are having any thoughts of selling your house, buying a house, or investing in real estate, I'd love to help you in any way I can. Please just give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. My contact info is in the description below. And after watching this video, please like and share it. Now, let's look at the 5 things you need to know before moving to Westchester. Number 1, the difference in property taxes. When most people think of Westchester property taxes, they think they're too high. And yes, to be honest, we do have higher property taxes than many places around the country. But what I think is more important is that right here within the county, there are big differences in property taxes between different cities, towns, and villages. For example, looking at 3-bedroom homes available for sale right now in Westchester County between 2,000 and 2,100 square feet, you'd be surprised at the big differences in taxes. And these homes are within just 100 square feet of each other. In Yonkers, there's a home for sale with property taxes just under $10,000. In White Plains, there's a house whose taxes are just over $16,000. In Larchmont, there's a house with taxes just under $18,000. And in Bronxville, there's a house whose taxes are just over $33,000. So, that's an example of the huge range of property taxes in Westchester. And yes, square footage is not the only criteria used to calculate property taxes, but this is a great way to just look at the difference in taxes based on similar size. If you're thinking of buying a house in Westchester, I believe this is one of the most important things to keep an eye out for. Number 2, commuting issues. Westchester is a big commuting county. If you're thinking of moving here and you need to commute for your job, you should have a commuting plan in place before you make the move. Let's start with the Metro North train system. This is a great train system. We have 3 Metro North lines that go into New York City, 2 that go upstate, and 1 that goes up to Connecticut. But if you're going to use Metro North to commute and you're not within walking distance of your train station, then you need to secure parking at or close to your station. If you think you'll just drive to your station and find a parking space, you may be in for a surprise. Why? Well, at least before COVID hit, many stations had packed parking lots and wait lists for parking. Now, since many people still haven't gone back to the office, you may be able to find parking. But once most people return to the office and return to their commuting routines, we may see packed lots and wait lists for parking again. So, check with your town about the parking situation at your train station. Also, I'll put links in the description below about how you can find parking at a Westchester train station. But parking isn't the only issue if you're going to be commuting by train. If you're taking the train, you need to know your actual commuting time. On a train schedule, it may show a trip time of, say, 49 minutes between your station and your destination. But you shouldn't count on that as your actual commuting time, because if you miss that train, the next train's trip time may be 1 hour and 15 minutes or more. So, look at the trip times on your train's schedule to give you a better idea of what your commute time could actually be. In Westchester, many residents also commute by car. So, if you're planning to commute by car, you should know that during morning and evening rush hours, you'll probably hit heavy traffic on 287 across Westchester, the New England Thruway, and the Hutchinson River Parkway. Number 3, flood zones. This is something I found that most home buyers really don't think about, and they really should. I believe one of the questions you should ask your real estate agent is this home in a flood zone? When we think of flooding, we usually think of coastal areas. And here in Westchester, that's the Long Island Sound shore and the Hudson River. But also there are many lakes and rivers and streams throughout the county. and in turn, there are many flood zones within the county. Now, if you do find a house in a high-risk flood area, that's not a deal breaker in my mind. You have to weigh the overall pros and cons, and depending on the level of risk of flooding in that area, you may have to purchase flood insurance. Number 4, is a home's address actually in the city you think it's in? Now, I covered this in a previous video where I showed that many homes with Scarsdale addresses weren't actually in the town of Scarsdale. Well, this issue isn't limited to just Scarsdale. There are other parts of the county where you'll find that a home's address isn't in the municipality that you think it's in. For example, there are some homes with White Plains addresses that are actually in the town of North Castle. And to make it more confusing, they're in the Valhalla School District. So, if you're looking to buy a house in Westchester, just make sure you know what municipality it's actually in. Number 5, not so late, nightlife. Here in Westchester, many restaurants, bars, and clubs close by 11 p.m. Now, to most people, this isn't an issue at all. But to some people, especially those who have moved here or are moving here from a big city like New York or Boston or Chicago, this could be an issue. Yes, Westchester has a nightlife scene, and it's great. We have some really cool bars and clubs throughout the county, but many of them really don't stay open late. And if you find yourself getting hungry later at night, you won't find many restaurants or diners open past 10 or 11 p.m. Here in Westchester, we used to have great 24-hour diners throughout the county, but COVID basically put an end to that. So, if you know of any great 24-hour diners in the county, please let me know in the comments below. So, there you have it, 5 things to know before moving to Westchester. Is there anything I missed? Please let me know in the comments below. If this is your first time at this channel, please click the subscribe button below and the little bell next to it to be the first to know about what's happening here in Westchester. And please like and share this video. And if you're thinking of moving here, or you're having any thoughts of selling your house, buying a house, or investing in real estate, I'd love to help you in any way I can. Please just give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. My contact info is in the description below. I'm Bill D'Ambrosio of Rand Realty, and this is Living in Westchester. And until next week, I'll see you around the county.